All right, welcome everyone to Exploring Telepathy for April 11th, 2026. I'm Kevin Young, your intuitive coach, admin for the Autism Telepathy Conversations community, and cheerleader for all those in the autistic realm who are looking to integrate and share their gifts and talents and abilities and teachings with the mass audience. We're just here to support them and their caregivers and parents in that journey and to learn telepathy, better ourselves, and deeper our connections so we can be the best version of ourselves and have a good life and share that with others as we can, as they're open to receiving. So nothing serious going on. We're just going to talk mostly about not only telepathy in its sense, but sort of the broader foundation about what it takes to move into a frequency, a feeling, a connection state, so that telepathy becomes a natural byproduct of that, not so much a thing we're trying to accomplish, because it is sort of a natural state. We're all consciousness connected at the core. So it's relaxing the human side to get into the telepathic side so we can be make it easier to just communicate with everyone and not just those who are non-speakers, but rather be more intuitive around the people that are in our lives, the people we interact with during the day, and to have an easier ride, be guided from within. That to me is the joy here. And I was just sharing with the group before we started the recording about how I've been doing these surveys on the Autism Telepathy group for anyone who's a parent or caregiver of a non-speaker and wants to share their experiences as being in that role, and maybe some of the frustrations that prevents them from becoming more telepathic with their individual, usually a child, but I've had some who have, some are in their mid-20s and even 30s who are still non-speakers and they can't communicate with them. And how much I'm enjoying the conversations and learning about where people are blocked. And there's a lot of fear that we've learned and been given in society that we then take on, and then fear is actually what mutes the telepathic signal more than anything. Sort of that emotional scale of love and joy and freedom at the top, and fear and powerlessness and grief and worthiness or unworthiness and so forth at the bottom. And telepathy and the higher consciousness connections, all of them can appear at the top of this. We have to be in that frequency range, that radio station. So it's just about softening the lower vibrational states, the fear, the anxiety, the worry, we're not doing a good enough job, or they're suffering and it's my fault. I let go of all that stuff to float back up into that present state and feel that joy of connection return. And then the telepathic channel then it naturally starts to open up. And of course, there's practice around that. It helps to have support, but I've discovered over the work that I've done, not just with these parents and caregivers, but those who've wanted to channel and do other sorts of connection to their own higher selves or to their spiritual support team. It's the same process. Just facing and feeling and releasing the fears and the lower frequency belief systems that we learned. And as we let those go, then the channel just opens up. So that's what we do here on the calls as well. In a second here, Melissa will lead us in a nice mind quieting meditation so we can all kind of float more towards that frequency, relaxation, trust, fun. We're really here just to have some fun. And then we'll talk about whatever comes up, not only during the meditation, but whatever you want to talk about regarding telepathy and experiences around that, challenges, whatever comes up. And then later we'll do the another mind quieting brief meditation that I will lead, and then we'll actually practice some telepathy in whatever form it manifests for you, which it'll be different for everybody. No two people have the same exact connection, but the idea is to get into the state of receptivity and openness where that connection can form, and then it can be channeled into telepathy for an individual if you want. We want to start with the foundation. So that's all we're doing here. We just have a conversation, go about 90 minutes or so, and hopefully have some fun together. So, Melissa, are you ready to guide us into nirvana?
Sounds great. Got the window open. It's going to be a warmer day and the birds chirping outside. So,
Got a support team around us.
yes, we got everybody here. All the support animals calling in everybody's guides and children in nature and trees, and whoever wants to come join us on this beautiful little morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are, an adventure today. So, everyone, let's just get comfortable and settle in. Just take a nice breath in and let it out. Take another nice, slow breath in. And slowly release. Just begin to feel your body here and supported with everyone around us. There's no need to do anything, be anything. Just be you sitting here right now. Let your body feel held and supported. Feeling all of us together with nature, Mother Earth. Feel your body softening. Just being here in this present moment. Feeling warm and safe. Now bring your awareness to your chest area, your heart. Just feel this little quiet space in there. And there's this light inside of there. And every time you take a breath in, that light grows just a little brighter. And your body softens just a little more. And you feel so much peace around you. And your light is shining bright. And that warmth inside of you continues to grow. And you feel your heart smiling inside. It's overtaken with this feeling of just love and joy. And it makes you have a smile on your face because that glow and warmth is filling your whole body. That you begin to just feel that filling up. And eventually all of your body is just soft and warm and glowing. And that light's so bright that other people and animals and nature are drawn towards you. See yourself in this field of lush greens, and the warm sun is beating on you. And an animal comes up to you. Even if you don't see one, maybe you sense it or feel the presence of one. You feel the calmness between you both. This animal senses such a calm presence within you. And you just quietly ask, "Do you have a message for me?" Just sense, maybe you hear, maybe you feel some sensation in your body. Maybe you have an understanding, just a knowing. Just feel the presence of you together. No expectations, just pure love and presence. Now you just take a little stroll with your friend that's with you. And you're just looking over this beautiful, serene area that just brings so much joy to your heart and soul. The happiness that you feel, the love that is surrounding you, the love with all of us surrounding each other. Just being together as one soul. It lights up your body even more. This is the feeling we can carry with us all the time. When things might go out of sorts, or stress settles in, know that you can return to this place and feel this joy and love within you, because it's always within you. It's turning down the volume of the other things going on around. To find that balance within. Now it's time to thank our animal that came and visited us, brought peace and love and understanding. Thank them for coming. Thank them for being with you today. Now it's time for us to return back from our sacred space into our bodies. Just taking a nice slow breath in. Feeling the warmth and love within and all around us. Our souls all connected. Animals all adjoined. Mother Earth. All the kids. Just feel the love within all of us right now, here at this moment. It's so beautiful. And begin to move your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Melissa. Very peaceful. Once I finally got into it, I felt myself dropping down, and I was reminded of some of the birds that show up, like we've talked about many times.
I
Actually,
wasn't sure if you could hear them.
well, I didn't hear yours. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I didn't know if you could hear them out here. They've been chirping the whole time. So I didn't know if anybody could hear them. They were just a going the whole time. They
Yeah,
still
no.
are.
Yeah, it's we didn't we I couldn't hear it over the microphone, but I could feel the energy. I had an interesting experience. I was just looking at some online pictures. I was going to see if I could share this. Suzanne and I went to the park where the river is that I go down. There's a stream where there's a lot of wildlife, and we went down about a week ago actually. And see if I can pull this up here real quick. Not sure if the
Yeah, I think they brought us into a trance.
well, I felt that suddenly I was
Mm-hmm.
like in that place. Oh, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? Anyway, what we saw was fascinating. There was this white mallard, and usually they have these beautiful colorings. The males are they have this navy blue ring, and they have these darker bodies, and the males are beautiful, and the females have this kind of more mottled brownish to keep them camouflaged. And yet, and we've seen lots of ducks, but then this couple showed up, and the male was almost all white. And so I did a little research on that, and he's not albino, but it's a pretty rare form of where something changes in the genetics. And we happen to have some duck food in the car, and so I sat by the rocks and let's see, did it open? I think it
There,
did.
I got a picture of the duck up there
Oh yeah, that was the
in my
one.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Can you see it?
hang on a
It
second. Let
was
me.
it was the coolest thing. And I'd only been on the surgery like 10 days and I got inspired to stand up. We weren't seeing any ducks around. I said, maybe we should just move over there. And as soon as we stood up, this beautiful couple, it was a brown, female, and then this one. And I thought, oh my God, thank you, universe.
Yeah, exactly. And by sitting on the rocks and just tossing, we use cornmeal. It's one of their favorite foods, and they just got closer and closer, and they would just they just side eye kind of look at you, and they get a little closer, and they're about that far away. He couldn't quite get to that point of eating out of my hand. I've had other ducks eat out of our hands before there, but uh, it was just you could like you were saying, Melissa, you could just feel the one-on-one connection in that moment.
He almost did. He was just getting to know you.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll see them again. We actually had a duck pair last week drop into our backyard and eat some of the bird feed. So I know there's something going to happen there.
It
Going to
is.
expand there.
It's crazy. Like I'm still vibrating right now. I'm truly like in a trance. Like I don't know. It's been happening more and more.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
just
that's interesting because it's near the end of the meditation. I suddenly, because I usually have my arms out when I'm sometimes when I'm coaching and often in the meditation, I'll just kind of leave my hands, my palms out, and suddenly they just got really hot. It was just like a switch went on, and that's when I can feel I've let go of the resistance and the energy's flowing because usually in my hands. I know you got that as well, Melissa. Yeah, so that was really good. So I see Hazel and then Verena. Hazel, what would you like to share about your meditative experience here? Yeah, just
Hello.
tap. Yeah, there you go. We can hear you. Speak right up.
Um, Thank you, Melissa. That meditation was extremely needed for me right now because I don't normally, I mean, I'm quite an anxious person, but lately my anxiety's been going through the roof with what's happening in the outer world. And I'm Irish, but I'm living in England. But in Ireland, it's all going crazy because of the fuel shortages, because of the war. And there's been a blockade on the major cities for the last 4 days. And on the one hand, it's brought the community of Irish people together because you've got the haulers, the public transport, bikers, um, so many people who use petrol are all coming together, and people are feeding them. My cousin's husband owns a mobile home caravan place, and he's been letting them stay in that. It's just, on the one hand, it's amazing seeing all the community come together. On the other hand, the Irish government now, they've put the army out in the streets. So the army are on the streets, and the Garda, the Irish police, they're all like in riot gear. And any minute now, it's going to kick off. And they've been told that the army will come in and take away all the vehicles. Anybody there will be fined. Their business. Oh, it's just an absolute nightmare. But the people are coming together, against the regime. But the whole thing's making me very, very anxious. Because and I hate myself for being like this. And I'm trying very hard to stay in higher frequencies.
Well, let go of
I'm
the hatred
trying.
first.
Oh, I'm trying, Kevin. I really am. But every now and again, I just go. "Ugh."
Well, how about right now?
Um, okay. Yes. Yes, I do. Yeah, I understand. It's as simple as just saying yes. I know that.
There you
Yes.
go. So use the now moment for what you want instead of what you don't want. And we're all here to support you because we all go through the same kinds of things.
Yes. I mean that was so lovely with Melissa's meditation, and she was saying that, we were all together because I was feeling very isolated, because aside from my son and my relationship is rocky, there isn't anybody else. And I was like, oh God, I was letting all the fear like rise up and up. And
Yes.
then during the meditation, the animal that came to me was a little squirrel, and the squirrel was gathering nuts up and hiding them for the winter. But it was basically saying to me, saying, look, we all need to prepare for stuff. But the squirrel was saying, I'm not like getting every single nut I can find and hunkering down for the next 100 years. I'm being practical, but I'm not going crazy. And I think that was just what I wanted to hear. And as Melissa was doing the meditation, I could physically feel my body softening, and I could physically with the breath just kind of going, it's okay, don't need to panic, don't need to panic. So yes, thank you, Melissa. I really needed that, and especially with the we are all in this together. So I need to get away from that 3D physical thing of thinking it's just the body. It's more than that. It's the frequencies, the energy, it's everything else. So yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Sending you a warm hug.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, we all are. That's part of what I've discovered. Really, since COVID was one of the biggest turning points, and we have all these sort of the darkness coming up from the shadows now being forced on us, is to help us do what you just said, Hazel. We're all doing it, is to find our own center again. Because
Yeah,
we're sort of trained to ignore it. We're trained to listen to other people, get into their fear, and then we can be controlled by them. That's kind of it's the nature of governments. It's the nature of any large organization, religions. They all have discovered at some level, if they introduce a fear and get you to buy into it, then you disconnect from your internal guidance, which is what is
yeah,
perfect for you. And so then they can control you. And so and that's got to get more extreme and more painful until finally we throw our arms up and say, no, there's got to be a better way. This does not feel right. And that's what's happening worldwide. That's why the negative stuff is going to get more extreme for a while. It's because those in control are starting to realize people are waking up and they can't stop it. So we call it a one trick pony. There's one trick they have, and that's to try to make you more scared. But at some point, they run out of tools to make you more scared. So you're right on the right track. Just hang in there, hold the faith, know that it's all going to be okay. And you're on the leading edge. At least you understand that there's a way out, which is the way in.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Great. So, Verena, you are next.
So, I had the same vision actually. Like I had a squirrel come up to me, telling me to collect my nuts and to store my nuts. Like that was
Wow.
really like impressive. Like what Hazel said was exactly what I received as well. And like being in kind of like a forest situation and like with a squirrel like climbing up the tree and like showing me the nuts and like saying like for me it felt more like energetic nuts of like placing energetic nuts in certain places in certain areas to stay connected, to stay open, and to like have grounding, I guess, in a way. And then when the meditation went on to like we went to an opening and just saw like in a yellowish orange kind of very nice warm like, and I had the squirrels on my head and on my shoulders and like looking out into the future, what it felt like of like what is to come, of like more peace after we've gone through these troubling times that we're in right now. So that was really, really beautiful. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
I
that.
love that future vision as well. So you're not only seeing, it's okay to prepare for today, for the near term future, which is just a natural thing, right? It doesn't have to be a panic thing, but also the longer vision of, well, once we get through this, and even brighter days will be ahead. Yes. That
And
kind of intuition is beautiful. Go ahead.
I also wanted to say to Hazel, like I saw a video yesterday about Edward Casey's vision for 2027. It's that I think like Pam Gregory. I don't know if you
Oh,
know her.
she's a
Um,
psychic.
well, she's like an astrologer mostly, I think. But like anyway, and Edward Casey was working in the 40s, 50s, but he had this vision of this time right now of like exactly what is happening, exactly what Hazel was describing of like the people being on the streets and there's just because the systems are breaking down. And so the people have to come together to build the new. And this is like happening, what is happening more and more. But and I think what was so nice about the video is because it put it into also the perspective that I'm seeing of the after. And so if anybody's feeling anxious about the current times, I can maybe share the link for the video somewhere because I think it's
Yes,
really nice to actually
and put it in the
see
chat.
that in a like visual, I don't, yeah, in a visual, yeah, like how all the things that are happening right now were always supposed to happen, and while they are scary, they lead us to what is coming next and what will be peaceful. And I think like it helps to hear that more often because yeah, to calm a
Yeah,
system.
I think that's brilliant, Verena. We get stuck in the tunnel vision grows the more in fear we are, and the less you can see that kind of thing. So yeah, I absolutely agree. Whatever materials we can look at or view, groups like this come to, whatever, to help us to see out of the tunnel we get stuck in that they're trying to keep us in. That's part of how people can stay in control, is to keep you in that fear if you think about things
But
like
we
the
don't
COVID,
know.
and
Yeah.
then there's the Epstein thing, and then suddenly we're at war. What happened to the Epstein thing? Well, went around that one. And so you can watch the manipulation happen if you can kind of get out of the tunnel, just like exactly what you're saying, which gives you that softer view. Like it's always going to work out. We're eternal
It has already
beings.
worked out.
Oh,
Like
I
the
love
future,
that. Yes.
like the
Vibrationally,
future.
it's been created already. And
like,
our
yeah,
job is just to catch up with it.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's even softer. That's an even more optimistic way of looking at it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, by all means, share here or share on your page, wherever, anything that's optimistic. I encourage everyone to look for those things. And these days, more than ever, both Suzanne and I, we trade videos regularly. Somebody, we intentionally will look to old Abraham videos or Bashar, or there's newer channels. There's Wendy Kennedy, there's Lee Harris. There's lots of people and new ones coming online who are sharing more and more information. Melissa's a channel. She's sharing stuff on her page, clips and so forth. And I know she's planning on doing more in the future. Any place where you can tap into that broader consciousness and through other examples to move our vibration in that direction, because it's all about where we focus. Really good, really, really good. Reverend Lynn, welcome. What's on your mind today? What did you experience?
I'm very happy to be here.
Great. Happy to
So
have
I
you.
have something rather, well, profound for me and perhaps will be profound for everyone. Back in 2006 and 7, I was in a seminary called the Seminary of Spiritual Peacemaking of the Beloved Community. And one of the things that I learned about from the founder of that seminary was a memoir he wrote. And in it, it talked about his time in war-torn Bosnia and Croatia. And this was James Twyman, by the way. And he connected to a hidden group of mystics known as the Emissaries of Light, a long-standing spiritual group focused on using meditation to extend divine light into conflict zones and promote global peace. And so, as often happens when I'm not doing the leading, but someone else is leading, my consciousness goes where it goes. And I felt that this group is a group in circle. I actually felt us as light bodies in circle in wherever we were. I was kind of going in and out of the screen. But first, it was this circle of us as light bodies, as emissaries of light. And that we knew each other through the eons. We were not in physical form whatsoever. And our shared intention of holding these frequencies that are way beyond the densities of what we are living in the 3D, that we are making a difference, that this is a very, very sacred group. And tears were coming, and it's interesting because I've been experiencing dry eyes, taking drops, and tears were coming naturally, feeling us with this safe, eternal, soul connected group of emissaries of light. And as Melissa was talking about animals, some animals were coming along, of course, but the focus was that our place, our connection, our service, the meaning, the calling is this being, our beingness as emissaries of light, and that it's telepathic, it's empathic, it's deep, it's here, it's now, it's expanding. And whatever you've started here with this group is extremely meaningful. And so I wanted to share that. The original emissaries were 12 around one. And like during Jesus's time, the 12 around one. So with this image, with this feeling, with this connection, it's profound what can be accomplished.
Yes, yes. The old Abraham phrase says, one who's in alignment with the stream of consciousness is more powerful than millions who are not. And yeah, beautifully articulated. And that's the really, I've started a few of these kind of groups with my wife over the years, not necessarily to do what you're talking about, but just more because felt compelled to bring people together who are on this journey. It's part of my soul is to do that. But to your point, this deeper, there's sort of this immense byproduct that happens when you just sort of follow your heart. And if in this case, gathering people for me has been always been important. And then it becomes this larger thing just by the nature of how energy builds off of itself. As you said, exponentially speaking, there's millions of times more energy just in this group of, as you said, 12 surrounded by one, which is interesting. And up until about a minute ago, that's exactly the number we had on the call. And maybe that's what you were feeling or reflecting back. 12 plus one. Yeah. And I think it's maybe in the past, I wouldn't have been able to acknowledge that within myself that we're doing something that is this valuable. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it. But it's okay to say, yeah, we can be in a bigger mission. I think it's okay to acknowledge ourselves and say, yeah, I'm part of really a leading edge uh, movement on the planet that I knew about before I came into this body, that I knew I would get to play in this game of the most massive shift that's ever occurred on this planet of vibration. And what an honor to be here, and what an honor to be playing my little role in it. And it's okay to acknowledge yourself for doing that. And let's do more together. Let's have more fun together. Yeah, I love that, and thank you for sharing that. And by the way, I sometimes have dry eye because I had a brain surgery a long time ago, so I get what that feels like. And yet, something that's interesting, Reverend Lynn, that I've also noticed when I'm in true and a pure alignment state, completely relaxed, present, and open, my right eye will, instead of being dry, will actually be the opposite, like what you were just saying. Suddenly, it'll open up. So I know there's a vibrational reflection in there that I could probably work on more myself. Thank you so much for sharing that. Did anybody get the same bigness feeling that I got from that when she shared that? How massive this can really be. And it's not there's any pressure to do it, right? Everything is going to be fine no matter what. All is well. All is always well. But how fun that we get to do this, be more of ourselves, and as a byproduct, help those around us and the planet by extension, sort of that trickle down vibrational effect. That gives me chills. Melissa, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say to Reverend Lynn, I could feel kind of what she was feeling also. I don't know if she's still here. Yeah, she is. Yeah, I was feeling that my own self while I was doing the meditation. Like we were almost just so bright and powerful that like when I was in the field or before I even went in the field or wherever it was, like it was just like there was no body. It was just like light beings all kind of standing there around, and we were just like kind of glowing. We were just, and like how you said how powerful this is, like we don't realize just coming together. And for my own self today, I did no like rehearsing of a meditation or anything to look at anything or do it. And so that was been something I just to allow whatever came, if it made sense or not, to let it out of me. Like,
Good for
does this
you.
flow right or does this sound right the way it's coming out? And it was like, just go with it, because I've been called for that my own self to allow, to not rehearse anything, to see how I deliver without having an outline or having prepared something, and allowing my channel and my source to just let it flow out of me the way it's supposed to. And so I've had, a guideline or something here or there in case something, just for my own safety. And I allowed my own safety. I faced that fear, so I had nothing to go with, and I just let it came out. And to not hear how everybody had such, profound things, or things happened, or we came together with squirrels, or you heard the birds chirping, or the deer came or whatever it is, right there, that is the power, Reverend, like that you're talking about too, that this is what the animals are like telling me. This is how you're going to bring people together in a sense. This is how I want you to bring people together through just even talking about a bird. And if it's a half hour we talk about a bird, just think of like the power we just gave to all those birds, that's going to come back tenfold to us, even from them just feeling our love going out to them. Like I still have goosebumps and chills through my body from the meditation. Like it was something different this time that I can't even explain. And it's something I've been exploring and feeling myself, but this feeling of us just all being and being together, it's almost like it's like a warm group hug,
Mm.
truly, like that feeling of almost like a mom feeling or just a warm, I don't know, sense in my heart of just like so much love.
I think that happens as a natural byproduct of what we're doing because
Mhm.
it's sort of like the individuals are at the lower frequencies of the humans, but the higher part of us is a singular consciousness just with multiple perspectives. And so I think is what you're saying is as we are letting go of sort of the denser human thought process and then float up in there, we literally are hugging ourselves. We're
Mhm.
feeling that connective energy of all of us. And it is the most
And
beautiful.
we are remembering. We are remembering all of
Yes, right.
who we were and what we are. And like you said, all that conditioning Hazel talked about too. And my own self, I'm really working at being an observer of my own life instead of going, that's not me. That's some old pattern my mother told me, or that's some old pattern I had from a teacher, or whatever it is. And really just watching the animals giving me that direction, like in a day. Just, I mean, to have a symphony out in my yard, like of just birds, it's just like, how can it honestly be any better than that to me?
Yes, yes.
I found heaven in my own yard.
Milking it in the now moment, just absorbing it. And of course, then nature wants to play because they say, oh, yeah, that negative human energy isn't around anymore. I can only feel the same source energy that I'm always in. The animals are always in that higher frequency, or almost always, unless they're around humans for a long time.
Rachel's got to tell her story too.
Oh,
I'm putting her on the spot now.
oh, about the deja vu.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's go to Jody next, and then and if Rachel wants to share something, absolutely. Go ahead, Jody.
Hi, good morning. Good to
Welcome.
see all of you. It's been a while, but just like you're sharing right now, there's this embodiment that I'm feeling automatically when I connected with the group today. And I feel it all up through my heart and being. And it just bless you all for that, for coming together and holding that space for that. So, in regards to some of the things you were talking about, I've been a practicing Buddhist, not a diehard, but I welcome the practices because it brings so much shifting and meaning into my life. And I wanted to offer to you there is something called a bodhisattva. And a bodhisattva is a person who is someone who goes on to the path of enlightenment, of which we are doing. We're meditating, we're getting to know ourselves, we're getting to observe and choose our behaviors and choices. And although there's causes and conditions there, which, as you said, nature and the animals watching how the universe all comes together at any given time, we don't have control over. But a bodhisattva is sattva meaning essence, being or essence. So a bodhisattva is someone who goes on the path to enlightenment, but chooses to help others reach it too. Rather than entering final enlightenment right away, it's a central concept in Mahayana Buddhism. And I've always felt that, even as a young child, sure, I acted out and was stupid and did dumb things and had all the human emotions and everything, but really deep down inside, there was always this bodhisattva of wanting to be with people and honoring people and welcoming people and loving people. So it's like you said, we're remembering. We're remembering that in Buddhism, they would call it your true nature.
Yes.
So thank you for coming together and helping us all to remember. Appreciate every one of you.
Likewise, Jody. So glad you were able to join our group, find us. Yes. We're all in this together, as they say. All one being, helping each other out in our individual perspectives. I love the ocean of all consciousness concept, but we are streams with individual perspectives and interests and journeys, but never disconnected, always feeding back into the ocean of all consciousness and tapping into it for our new ideas and inspirations, and then co-creating with ideas that have already been and become part of that consciousness to then create new perspectives that have never been thought of or experienced before. We truly are. Abraham has said that since the very beginning of time, that we listen to their, and I never understood it until I got the vision of who we really are, which is one ocean of all consciousness with different perspectives and intentions, but never disconnected. And then you see how easy it's supposed to be. There's everything that you want is available. Every guidance is there. Vibrationally speaking, when we get on the path, the door opens. When we don't, then, as you said, I wouldn't call it dumb things, but we do things that are disconnected so we can more strongly figure out what is connection for us. You got to have both. It's all perfect. Let's see. I see Reverend Lynn says, yeah, a toad showed up for one of your gardens. A personal transformation, growth, emotional cleansing, bridge between consciousness and unconsciousness. Interesting. It's a lot for a toad. Deep connection to earth. Thank you for sharing, Reverend Lynn. I love how different aspects of nature all have their part in helping us to find our own deeper connections. Let's see. Go ahead, Suze.
Let's see. I felt the bigness during the meditation. I felt like each soul on this call. I just felt like we're so all connected and moving into together, supporting each other into the next higher vibration, the next timeline, whatever it is we're all going towards, which we know is going to feel better than the one that we're looking at in the world today. And it reminded me of we had a friend come over yesterday who is from Macedonia, and she is going to go visit her family in June. And the family over in Europe, which reminded me again of how Hazel was worried and caught up in the fear and the worry that goes out about the war and everything. And then they're all worried about, as are everyone over there more so than here because they're so close to it all. The fear is just catching, and everybody gets wound up in it because that's what they put out. The media puts out for you to watch because, again, as we've observed, when you're in fear, you have no clarity and you can't even tap into your own intuition and make a choice that feels good to you. You're so drawn into the fear. And so Kevin said something wonderful to her, as she and I, this friend of ours, have worked together for years, and she's also worked a little with Kevin. And I don't know if you remember, Kevin, you said something like, remember, other people's emotions are not yours. She's a very strong empath. And when you are a strong empath, you forget that because you're so sensitive. And I mean, it was like almost like someone lit a candle for her. She said, oh, that's right. She knows she creates her own emotions by the way she chooses to look at things and the perspective she chooses to take. And when you pay attention to how you feel when you make that choice, that's how you get tuned in to the truth of all that is, and move yourself away from the fear. And I don't know, it was just a fun little moment where she actually stopped and took a little note, like, I got to write that down because she doesn't have any friends here, or her family for sure. They're not into any of this, and she can't really talk about it with them. And I guess that's what's beautiful about this group too. We can talk about this stuff and realize we're not alone and help lift ourselves back up when we get wound up, if we have no one else to talk to. Kevin and I are so lucky to have each other that we don't have, I mean, our families aren't into all of this, but yet we just hold steady and allow them to be who they are and love them from the perspective of knowing that they're all pure love. But right now this is where they're at. So anyway, I'm rambling on, but that's what I've been thinking about throughout the time here.
But I think that's good to bring to the surface the idea of how many people still do feel alone in this expansive journey, and I think that is what holds a lot of people back. It's one of the reasons that we started our first meetup group over 12 years ago, and the group that preceded this group, what we called Lightworker Exchange, was because there were so many of my personal clients, private coaching clients, that were saying, I can connect with higher consciousness, I can talk to my dead grandmother, I know the future, I can, all these spiritual things, but I have nobody to talk to. And I'm saying, yeah, I know a lot of them. They're all my clients. Why don't we get a group together and you guys can talk to each other? And this group has become sort of another extension of that. But it's interesting that, and that's part of our passion, is to help bring this community together because of the powerful leading edge creators that we are and how valuable we can be when we believe in ourselves. And it helps to have the support of a group in order to believe in yourself more. It's just kind of the nature of the human. And one of the things that's come out of the last handful of conversations now in this last week with people who are parents and caregivers who are in these situations with their non-speaking child, and they're having all these troubles, and they have some telepathic abilities, or they're starting to open them up, but they're scared to death to go any farther. That's the number one thing that's coming out of these conversations so far, because nobody in the family would get that. Or worse, one of them was a Mormon, and I just talked to her, I think yesterday, and she says, but I know the church isn't, that I've been taught, isn't everything. Because there's a lot of good community. There's a lot of good in every religion. But there's also a lot of systems of control. There's a lot of belief systems that you have to adhere to, or you could be tossed out, and then your whole family and everybody you know now is gone, and then you're all by yourself. So they create this sort of trap, and really anything that introduces fear as a method of control has that same kind of thing. All that everybody else is buying into the fear may not come with you, and so it can feel like a very lonely journey. And again, another value to having groups like this is to help those who are ready to awaken but don't have the support in their environment to have that support so they can jump that bridge and come into their own. And that's something I remind everybody I talk with. You're not alone, and you attracted me in a conversation, so there's at least one other person, and there's more like it. And there's 18,000 people in this group who are in some version of this expansive journey. So you're not alone, and you never will be alone, and you never have been alone. Verena, go ahead.
Just one thing to that. I think like the aloneness part is part of the medicine too. Like, I think a lot of the light workers are getting activated through it because, in a way, also we need, like, we have to find ourselves, each one of us, in order, because of what is gonna come. Like, and this is the other thing that I actually wanted to say is like, I think it is so essential right now to take good care of ourselves and to prioritize that over everything else, like to really limit the news, to really limit getting sucked into other people's stories and fears, and to do what we can to really ground and resource ourselves so that we can shine our light and like be present. And I've been really feeling the veil thinning in ways that I've never experienced before, like being able to see into the past and future and being able to connect to people in the past and future and to build this arc kind of what is going on and to see the timelines, like literally to see in between the timelines and to see how everything is now and how all the past is now just different versions, and how we can already connect to the people on Earth in the future, and how like how how they are already here in a way, and they're just watching us go through this process because we have to wiggle our way through somehow, and like, but we can like to really come back to this knowing that it's all gonna work out very, very well. And we just have to keep our calm now and to focus on that and how much love we can share and how much love we can spread and how much we can be there for other people and how much like we can be the light.
Yeah.
So, and the the light pole kind of is what I'm feeling like, so that other people can center like gravitate towards this and find that strength within themselves as well.
Yeah, being the lighthouse. That's kind of
Yeah, like that.
right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that it happens as we do all the things you just said. It almost is a natural byproduct. It's like we don't even have to be it because we become it in a sense, just by clearing the clutter out of the way. I'm curious, what's one practice that you do, Verena, that helps you to clear that clutter and come back into that center connection?
I think my life, it's like my life has always been practice in a way. I remember like 10, 15 years ago, my friend gave me a Pema Chodron book about meditation and stuff like that. And it was the first time that I heard about it. And I was like, oh, but I've been doing that all my life. Like, this is my life. This is how I am. This is who I am. So for me, like, I've always, I've like I was born with visions of the past and the future. I've always had this connection. I just didn't know how to relate that to other people because the people weren't ready.
Yeah.
And like whenever I spoke about it as a child or as a teenager or like even later, like even 5 years ago, people would just be like, yeah. And so like but that has always been me. Like that's not like my life is that practice in a way. I don't like
Yeah.
meditation, being in quiet, like, but also seeing, like, whenever I have a question, I can call in guides and I can, like, I received a very beautiful message from Mary Magdalene last weekend of like how things are coming together and how the feminine energy is rising in all of us, like, independent of which gender. And like, I can feel into that. Like, it is really alive in me in a way, the positiveness of what's to come.
Wow, how nice to have been born and not lost that connection in childhood. Like a lot
Well,
do, like I did, for
it was
instance.
like 40 years of struggling because I felt like
Ah,
I'm weird, but
right, right, right. And now you know that
but
they're
not,
the
but
weird ones.
but now it all makes sense and I can build that, like I can release it, I can integrate it in a way that like is actually helpful and can be more helpful in the future.
Yes, right. Yeah, I liken it to getting you finally get to the top of the mountain and you're finally starting to go down the other side and the momentum is now your friend instead of what you had to push against to get to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Like I feel that way this 2026 for me in particular. And there's still bumps along the road that I'm hitting, but the view is opening up. And as you say, then that's what you focus on. Like this exciting place that we can go, this direction we can go is not a place, but a direction because it never ends. Yes. You're very articulate, Verena. Even since you started on these calls, your ability to articulate at a deeper level seems to just be growing very quickly. I just wanted to
I
reflect
have a
that.
lot of Mercury. Like that was always my like gift, I guess, in a way, to put things into words that other people struggle. And even if it's not my first language, it's kind of like
You're pretty
just
good at it.
like yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm glad you could make the calls. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see, 11:07. Okay. Oh, I see Pete. Why don't you go ahead, and then I think we'll do our telepathic meditation and see where we go.
Just to piggyback a little bit on what other people have just been saying, it's just not to take on the weight of the world. It's so easy. Um, I think most of us to varying degrees have embraced the light, have been the light, have merged into the light, perhaps. I know I have many times. But then it's just to hold on to the light. This is something that's come to me in the last few weeks. We all have this experience, even right now in this group. We talk about the light and how beautiful it is. But then we step away and we navigate human space and human emotion. And the real goal, trick, there's no word for it, but the real thing to do is to keep that light. And the light comes and it goes and it comes and it goes and it comes and it comes and it comes and it comes and it stays. And to keep it, we can only, as humans, we can only work on ourselves. We cannot work on anybody else, nobody else.
Yep.
We can only embrace the light, become the light. Becoming the light is the key aspect, and it sounds so easy, but
Yep.
it's so hard. It's in practice and principle. It's so easy to talk about as I am right now, but to actually do it, it's like you said, Kevin. It's the lighthouse. It's you can only and what Verena was saying about the timelessness. Um, Verena gets this, but we're a speck of our existence. What we are experiencing right now in our lifetime is just a barely even an aspect of dust in the cosmos in terms of where we are, where we're going, what we're doing. So for me, as I embark on this journey of maintaining the light, it helps to know that no matter what happens now, it has a lot of meaning, but at the same time, it's fairly inconsequential in terms of who we are and what we're doing. Stuff gets thrown at us, the weight of the world, friends, emotions, all this, wars. But through all that, it's just embracing the light truly. Not in, it's, I'll leave it there. It's walking through life, having that in you all the time,
As
all the
much as
time.
possible.
So all of a sudden you get into a car accident, someone T-bones you, and maybe you're injured. Keep the light.
Yeah, still be the light.
So, someone's nasty to you. Keep the light.
And maybe that's the
Um,
whole point of those journeys is to learn to build that muscle more strongly by experience. Wouldn't you say?
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and of course, um, when you said it was of course right then.
11:11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the 11th. Yes, pretty powerful, Pete.
It's good what we're doing. Please don't despair.
Yeah.
The light is in you. It may come and go, but the trick is to keep it in and let it grow. And we don't need to shout it from the rooftops, the rafters, whatever it's called. We just need to embody it and navigate life with it, and it will have an impact.
Yes, I think we underestimate how much impact just being that in that state has on the people around us. And as you say, it's not a responsibility because you can't vibrate for another and you can't attract in their experience for them. But we can influence. Everybody wants to feel better. Everybody wants to find their own light. And how great that as we figure it out, we can be an example of how to do it. It's another thing I love about this group is that we're sharing how we're doing it individually. And so I pick up little pieces from everybody who shares about, oh, there's another way I can find my own light. I think it was perfectly articulated, Pete, and your energy is so beautiful right now. I could warm my hands on it. Thank you for sharing. And what a great way to lead us into our telepathic practice. So nothing serious going on. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Dropping more into the heart. If you feel inspired to have something to write on when you come out of it, sometimes we get a message or information that we want to share. You can have that handy. I have a notepad or Word document I type into, or you can share in the chat window if you'd like. So all we're going to do is go a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes in a quiet space. I'll lead us in and out, and there's nothing serious going on. We just drop in and see what happens. If you want to toss out a message to someone telepathically, yeah, go right ahead. If you want to open up to what someone else has to say, whether they're in this group or anywhere else on the planet or beyond, then open up and see if you receive any impressions, any messages, any visions from that being or individual. This is all just a playground. We're just in a sandbox playing around, so don't attach to any outcome. Let's enjoy the process of opening up. See where we go. All right, so there's nothing we need to get done, nothing we need to specifically do. We're just going to sit back and relax, get settled into our chair or wherever we are. And as we close our eyes, we take a nice deep breath in. We hold it at the top, and then we exhale, breathing the air completely out of our lungs. In again. And as we gently release our thoughts, we step out of time as we breathe out, blowing away any residual tension, anything a little bit negative that's hanging on, we just blow it away. And then again. And as we exhale, we just release the weight of the world, release any tension, just let it roll off our shoulders, dropping completely into the body now, finding our natural rhythm of breathing. Slow and deep, kind of letting go of any control of breathing, releasing any residual tension, feeling the floating energies taking over now, feeling the softness and lightness and brightness in our souls, feeling our consciousness expand slowly and gently, just being held up by this beautiful universal ocean of all consciousness, floating right on the surface. Nice, warm source sunlight on our faces and on our bodies. Just relaxing into this beautiful floating space, feeling lighter and lighter, expanding more and more. Up above the veil of the third dimensional consciousness realm and into the brighter, higher dimensions. Just noticing all the beauty surrounding us at this high vibrational level. Maybe we notice others in this realm, seeing the spiritual outlines of their beings, the auric fields, the glow of the beings around us. They're all connected to the same streams, the same ocean of consciousness. Having these nice, easy conversations, communications, opening up to the messages that maybe want to come to us, being the messages that we want to send out, not needing any action, just being the message that we want to transmit, and opening up, surrendering to whatever wants to come to us. And in this beautiful surrendered state, pure consciousness, as my voice trails off, we just allow ourselves to be and witness whatever wants to happen in our highest excitement and highest joy. And we'll go for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, just see what happens. Right. So, no rush, but it is time to come back into the third dimension, back into our bodies. No rush. Take your time. Find yourself settled when you can. If you had anything come to you that you want to record, now's the time to do it. You can also put it in the chat if there's something. And really, any experience, all experiences are valid, even if nothing came to you. Like nothing came to me. I just experienced the void. Once I quieted my mind, which took a while, I experienced the void of all possibilities, the intense presence of now with no thought. And to me, that's an important practice that I'm going through now, to truly get to the state of no thought and connection and presence. And still some work involved, but that was very helpful for me. So Rachel says she saw rainbows. That's beautiful. Yeah, Jody, possibilities came up. Yes. Did you have any specific possibilities come up, or was it just the idea of possibilities?
I've been entertaining just in my whole daily practices the idea of possibilities. My business is called Alexander Possibilities. I think there was a quote, perhaps by Thich Nhat Hanh, I'm not sure, but the amazement of there are so many possibilities in every moment. And I mean, that's what we've been talking about all day today. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a great reminder. There's so many possibilities in every moment. But we so forget that if our brain can't think of it, then there's nothing, no possibilities. But then when we let go of that perspective, then all the possibilities show up. Oh, I love that. That's a takeaway for me. Verena, what do you experience?
Just very quick. I saw an elephant, and it reminded me of the elephant from Melissa's meditation a while back.
Oh, yeah.
And this connectedness. And the image that I got was like, because the elephant have such big feet, like stand your ground, like, and really don't be afraid to take up space as well. Because, I mean, we might still be the minority, but we will not always be. And also we have all this light and all this love. So like firmly planting our feet on the ground and like taking our space and saying like, no, we're here. You can't move us out of the way. Like we are showing the way of what is possible. We are we are here, and to like firmly center, like ground ourselves. And that was kind of the image.
Wow, that's a powerful one for me. That I totally get it. I totally got everything you just said. The enormity of being who we are, and we are in some senses the elephant from an energy perspective, relatively speaking, and standing our ground. It is safe. I've been told that in a lot of different sessions over the years, and it's taken me a long time to really believe and know, yes, I am safe. I'm safe in all conditions, because I am eternal, invincible, indestructible, infinite, perfect love, part of consciousness, and nothing can go wrong. Yeah, but I think that visual is going to stay with me. The idea of being the elephant and just be okay with being yourself. I think that's going to speak to a lot of people, Verena. I hope a lot of people listen to this call, because this is a really good one. Melissa. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I kind of had the same, well, similar message, but a different. I had the bird, which the blue jay has been telling me, and this was so profound. I was sitting there and listening to Kevin and ready to drift off, and like all these birds came together, and literally I like became a bird. Like they were gonna take me up en route. Like I was getting ready to go up, and I hear, "Get down from that tree!" And I was like,
Interesting.
I'm not in the tree. I'm thinking to myself, and I look out, and there's my husband yelling at the cat, who Hendrix climbed up into. This is his first time he's ever climbed up a tree. He's in the tree right out here. So then I look out and I'm thinking, what the hell? And here's the cat walking on the tree, which is usually Harley. It's not. So then Harley was over here at the other 50 trees, this high soaring up. So he got Hendrix down, and then I hear him yell, "She's over there in that tree." So then she was up twice as high. That's been something mommy's been exploring with too,
Hmm.
allowing and letting and let them go and hunt and see what happens. And she climbed up a tree, I don't know, 25 feet up yesterday. Well, then I saw the fear of God in me because I saw the fear of God in her looking down. How am I coming down this tree now that I got up it? The branches aren't the same coming to back down. Well, Harley's face was, and then I'm learning that too. Ground. If I'm
Hmm.
grounded, then she's going to feel more calm
Yeah.
coming down versus me having a panic attack and heart attack in front of her, and then she has no sense. So, like the birds are been always claim your power, be you, be who you are, and kind of how you said when the elephant came and I need this space now. That is what the birds have told me too, because the blue jay takes over all of the other birds. So when it comes flying into the bird feeder, sometimes I feel bad that it's
Ah,
being mean.
yes.
And but it is telling me I need this space right now too for me to claim my power. And when I have my space, then everybody can come to the bird bath and we can all share together. But at this moment, I need my space, kind of like the elephant was telling you to claim that. And it's so, I'm like from a tiny bird to the biggest elephant with the same message of basically
Yes.
be yourself, be you, claim you. And then I got to watch two cats get screamed, go up and be themselves at the same time, being who they're meant to be
Yes. Right.
in that space. And I was just like, let her be. I didn't say it like, because this is the first time he got to experience it with them. So it was like, she'll come down eventually.
Yeah.
Because you always see how you got to call the fire department in movies and get the cat down and stuff. And I'm like, well, she's just gonna stay up there then, because I won't be calling the fire department. But just how ironic! Like I really wanted to go with this bird. I was literally being lifted up and then whoop, that got just taken
Yeah.
away. But I
Well, at
just
least you
love
got a
how our
taste of it,
message.
though,
Yes,
right?
I just love how our messages were the same, though, very similar from a bird and an elephant
Yeah.
to just
Yeah.
still stand in our power and claim us.
I think we can all remind ourselves and demonstrate it, the importance of standing our grounds and not in a defensive or hostile way, but just knowing, in a state of knowing. That's actually part of this, why I started this survey thing about finding out what's going on. It's very similar because I've wondered for a year since I've been in this group, why aren't more parents actually stepping into telepathy for these non-speakers? It just didn't make any sense. Well, you know about the telepathy tapes, you got this big group, we're all kind of looking at this, why? But I've been afraid to step out of this because I don't even have a non-speaker in my life. It's like, who are you, Kevin, to start asking these questions? Maybe everybody else knows and you're just the idiot in the group. All these fears that I've been carrying and been afraid to just know. It's just step forward in confidence because I'm being called in that direction. I got the whole universe behind me if I allow that. And this is what you guys are basically reminding me of that. And I did, and when I took that step, suddenly all the fear went away. I had a strong knowing that this is a path for me. This will help me and it will help others that I'm supposed to work with. And it's been nothing but fantastic. Every conversation has just been great. So thank you guys for creating some more analogies that will help me to remember that we're safe. We're here for a purpose. We all have value to the collective, but most importantly to ourselves. And let's just take that next step. Yay, what a perfect way to wrap this call up. What a powerful call. There was some really big energy that moved here. Every one of you who shared, I could feel the light and bright, powerful energy. And whether we had 14 people on the call or 1,000 people, doesn't matter. That energy multiplier has reached a lot of people just by us being on this call today. So thank you all. Honor yourselves this week and next, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And anyone like Chrissy, if you want to reach out earlier and have a private session, I'm here. This is my joy and passion. So thanks again. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Bye for now. See you next time.